So NFC West Burning Questions, segment 3. We're doing this over the next couple of weeks here. We're doing burning questions for each division, one division each day. We'll try to go quickly here. Los Angeles Rams. How will this backfield be split between Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson? We already know Cooper Kupp's going to be awesome. I'm all in on Allen Robinson. Read about that and love-hate coming up on Thursday. How will this backfield be split, my friend?
Yeah, I don't understand the love for Cam Akers. He was so agonizingly bad in the playoffs last year. And I know he's coming early off the huge injury, but still, we just haven't seen it. Darrell Henderson averaged 4.6 yards per carry, and I think he is the guy to target. Cam Akers is going ahead of Elijah Mitchell in drafts right now. I wouldn't be on board with that. And I'd be very skeptical of Akers until we actually see his explosion back. And he's dealing with stuff in the preseason too. So I'd be pretty low on Akers.
Weeks 1 through 8, he was the 7th best running back in fantasy. Darrell Henderson was. We've seen him produce at a high level here. The dream of Cam Akers is certainly there. We all remember that one game, I think it was Arizona. It was like a Thursday night game, just had that monster game. So we all remember sort of that end of the season of his rookie year. But to your point, Darrell Henderson's going as running back 43. Cam Akers going running back 17. And I don't think we have enough evidence to suggest that it literally should be like 25 spots apart in ADP at the position.
Akers was the worst running back in the league last year when he came back. He's averaging under 3 yards per carry. He's probably not going to be that bad because of the injury.
No, him coming back from the Achilles in the same season is just like a medical miracle, right? And it takes a while, but just think Saquon had an Achilles, right? Think about it saps a player's explosiveness. Is Cam Akers still going to be explosive? But more importantly, Henderson and Akers have both dealt with major injuries over the course of their career, and I think McVay is just going to want to use both guys. He doesn't want one guy to be the guy. This is no longer the Todd Gurley era of the Sean McVay offense. I think they want both guys because both guys are productive, and they want both guys to stay healthy. So I agree with you that I think Cam Akers at current ADP is a bit concerning. Darrell Henderson is a value. By the way, all in on Allen Robinson this year. He's going to be a top 15 wide receiver. Just trust me here. Let's move on to the 49ers. How will Trey Lance affect Debo Samuel?
Well, I think the interesting thing is just Trey Lance's ceiling in general and then how that ripples across. Trey Lance was 75-1 to an MVP a few months ago. Now he's 30-1. He's still shortening. And I think the thing there is that people...
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because Patrick Mahomes, when he won MVP in 2018, he was 50-1 before the season. The next year, Lamar Jackson, he was 60-1.
Right.
And so if you're looking for guys in that range, Trey Lance is the guy. And maybe it's Jalen Hurts as well. I'm not opposed to that. But Lance, just because we just don't know what he is, he could be anything. And I think that he's going to just be flatly better than Jimmy Garoppolo was last season. And I know there's the concern about his rushing is going to take away from everyone, but Debo Samuel was taking slant routes to the house, and that's how he was getting his 80 yards. I think Trey Lance unlocks Debo more as a deep threat, and Debo's production last year, 1,405 receiving yards in the air, and he missed 2 games. He was playing hurt in a couple of other games. He got the yards on the ground. Maybe those scale back a little bit, but Debo Samuel has the upside to be the number 1 wide receiver in the game.
That's the anti-Debo argument, is that Trey Lance's rushing is going to take away. He's not going to be used as a running back the way he was last year. That there was rumors in the offseason that Debo wanted to get out of San Francisco. But again, 21% target share last year for Debo Samuel. Just take all the rushing away. The guy still had a north of 20% target share. And even if he gets less touches, the touches he gets will be more effective. We've seen this before with rushing quarterbacks, right? No. You have to keep a linebacker to spy on the rushing quarterback. So that opens up and you create mismatches, and no one creates mismatches on offense for the defense than Kyle Shanahan. He's so good at getting his positions in players to have mismatches. So I'm not worried about it. I think Trey Lance is an absolute sleeper this year. Yeah. Love him, love his upside, love the bet on him as potentially MVP. 2 things we can be sure of. Kyle Shannon's pretty smart about football. Yeah. And Kyle Shannon has basically bet his career on Trey Lance.
That's the thing. It's the institutional incentive there, where if Trey Lance was bad and Kyle Shannon's seeing him every day, Jimmy Garoppolo would still be, in town and slated to potentially even start.
Someone explained to me about why people don't like James Conner. People are like, he's fragile. Well, he stayed healthy last year. Well, the touchdowns. He's so much of his value comes from touchdowns and the touchdown equity that he has. There's no way that's going to be repeated. He's going to regress. And I don't believe that to be the case. Last year, the 2nd most carries in goal-to-go situations. Last year, the 2nd most rushing touchdowns in goal-to-go situations. of running backs with at least 15 such carries last year. His 42.3% conversion rate in goal to go, second highest in the NFL. He gets a lot of carries in close, and he converts a lot of carries in close. Make no mistake that this is part of that offense. Since Cliff Kingsbury came to Arizona, this is a team that has been one of the league leaders, okay, in goal to go touches. Each of the past 2 seasons, the Arizona Cardinals have ranked top 4 in the NFL, top 4 in goal-to-go rushing attempts. They are also top 5 in red zone rushing attempts under Kingsbury the last 2 years. James Conner was a sleeper for me last year.
Yeah.
And the argument I made, you can go back and look at my love-hate preseason last year and you'll see this, is that I said, like, look, 2 years ago, Kenyon Drake, the soon-to-be unemployed Kenyon Drake.
A lot of Kenyon Drake chat today.
A lot of
it, Amir Abdullah.
100%. Look, Kenyon Drake soon to be unemployed. You're soon to be unemployed. Yeah. He makes a lot more money than you. I wouldn't be. If I were you, I would not be throwing a lot of stones. But the fact is the soon to be unemployed Kenyon Drake 2 years ago actually was tied for the NFL lead in goal to go carries. And I was like, that's insane to me, guys. Cliff Kingsbury, for whatever reason, likes to run when he gets in close, even though he's got part of it's Kyler Murray, but he likes to give attempts to the running back when they get in close. And so now James Conner's going to be the guy. He's going to get a ton of rushing touchdowns. I didn't expect 18 total touchdowns, but I expected a lot of touchdowns. Again, it is part of the offensive system. He's really good at it. Health is the only concern on James Conner, but whatever. You grab Darrell Williams and you're fine as an insurance back late in your drafts.
Yeah, I think people are just too low on the Cardinals in general.
Yes.
Their win total's 8.5. They're an underdog to make the playoffs. They were 11-6 last season and were in the mix for the 1 seed. Another team that people are very low on in that division, the Seattle Seahawks. The 2 most interesting fantasy players definitely are Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Are you interested in those guys if they fall?
Probably not.
No, out.
If I have to pick one, give me DK Metcalf. I'm as a wide receiver 22, okay. 51st overall, slightly lower than the consensus on Yahoo. I think he'll be fine. He's a big body target. Somebody's got to catch passes in the end zone. It's going to be him. And the argument is that, like, he was actually productive when Geno Smith was a quarterback last year. Now, he scored like 3 touchdowns in 4 games. Hard to sustain that touchdown rate. But I want no part of Tyler Lockett. Okay. Love the receiver. Wow. Great talent. But whether it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith under center, we're talking about a run-heavy offense. It's going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL in terms of scoring points and efficiency. The brilliance of Tyler Lockett was because he had this amazing connection with Russell Wilson. That's not going to be here this year. Geno Smith and Drew Lock aren't Russell Wilson. Newsflash, right? Hashtag analysis. No, thank you.
Okay. I'm a little bit higher on Lockett than you, I think.
Why?
Well, his last start with Geno against, admittedly, Jacksonville, who aren't much. He had 13 targets, 12 receptions, over 140 yards. I think there is some scope for him to be that security blanket because he lines up more in the slot than outside, not as dependent on the deep ball. So maybe Tyler Lockett won't be so bad.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.